Hey there, Essie Faye here. Welcome back to Book Talk 3. Um, wow. Book Talk number 3. The topic is emotion is not our enemy. Emotion is a part of the human experience. It is just a testament to the fact that we are human. You know, Dr. Anita says, your heart was never meant to be a battlefield. Your heart is a garden. You've built a sturdy wall around your heart. It is the heart, not the mind, that God designed to be at the very center of the human experience. And that includes our feelings. Wow. This is so insightful. So, she's basically saying that we are not meant to fight our emotions. Neither are we meant to use our emotions as um, weapons. We're not meant to weaponize um, anger or, turn our emotions on other people and use our emotions as justification for injustice or harming others or even harming ourselves. But our heart is a garden to be nourished, to be nurtured, to be tended to. So, Scripture tells us to guard our heart because out of it flows the issues of life. And so, our heart is to be tended to. Our heart is to be observed. Our heart is to be pruned. Our heart is to be nourished and nurtured. Um, so our emotions are to be observed and considered, um, and seen as signs, not sins. And that's one of the things I love about this book. She talks about um, the fact that your emotions, no emotion is a sin. To feel angry is not a sin. To feel lustful is not a sin. It's what we do with those emotions. It's how we manage or mismanage our emotions that determine whether or not we are indeed practicing sin. Scripture says all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. So if we say we've not sinned, we're lying, right? But it's not the sin because we can sin by omission or we can sin by commission. Um, but it's the practice of sin, the outright disregard for God and the rebellion against his rules and his laws and his standards, right? His biblical principles. That is when we're practicing sin. God is offended, but all of us have fallen short. That's why we have God. God, sent his son, Jesus, to be our advocate, to be to take our place, right? To appease the wrath of God. But she talks about your heart being a garden, not a battlefield. Yet, many of us have built sturdy walls around our heart. Scripture tells us to guard our heart, right? But it doesn't tell us to build walls around our heart so um, nothing can get out and nothing can get in, nothing and no one. And so, I'm preaching to myself as well. Sometimes we build a wall around our heart and we vow to never let another person in because we took a chance and we were vulnerable with someone or our um our kind heart was taken advantage of and we were hurt in the process. And because of that, we build up walls where we shut everybody out. And it's easier said than done, but we must forgive. We must start to tear down those walls. Um, and instead of building a wall, we've got to build a fence, right? Boundaries, where we can open the door of the fence and allow people in, and we can keep certain people out. But it's the heart that's designed to be at the very center of the human experience, and that includes feelings. God created us with feelings, not to fight, but to embrace. I noticed that ever since I started to actually feel my feelings, I have come to know myself in a deeper way. I've come to understand the woman that I've become and the journey that I've traveled um, more profoundly. It's also helped me to become more emotionally intelligent and more empathetic toward others, more compassionate and more sympathetic toward others because I feel what they are actually experiencing. I feel what they feel, and I allow myself to feel that pain. And it doesn't feel good, but it allows me to release and express my feelings so that I can move on to the next thing, so that I can learn something. I can feel, I can learn something, and I can go on. And so I just want to encourage you if you're listening, and you're, not trying to feel, you're avoiding your feelings, you're refusing to deal with that grief that you need to deal with. You lost that loved one and it just hurt you so deeply, but you've never talked about it or you've never journaled about it. You've never really faced that pain. I'm going to encourage you to face that pain. If you need help, seek out an accountability partner, seek out a licensed professional counselor or therapist, um, so that you can deal with that grief because those feelings bottled up can cause you to become sick. They can cause you to, not be able to think clearly. And so, feelings are a part of the human experience. As believers, we got to deal with that. How are we feeling? And it's okay. You can feel, you can feel angry and don't without sin. Jesus did it. He was angry. He was in the synagogue tossing tables, but he didn't sin. He expressed his feelings. And then he said what he had to say, did what he had to do, and he moved on. He moved forward with power and authority. And so I just absolutely love this. Emotion is not our enemy. The heart is a garden, not a battlefield. I hope you like this short segment, book talk number 3. If you like this, you feel like it was valuable, comment below or like the video and or subscribe if you want to hear more about this book during book talk.